You're listening to the Heaps Good podcast with the Saunders fam. We have real, collaborative and lighthearted chats about all things food, fitness and family. As our name implies, we love testing and finding new ways to create that heaps good life together. And these three pillars are the foundation of that. Whether you're on the way home from school drop-off or at the gym, we're stoked to have you listening along. Let's crack in. Oh, you've got it on your phone. How good.
Yeah, I'm a pro now. Fucking next level, mate.
I will fiddle with it's like when I do my check-ins with my clients, I always think to myself they must hate me because I get real funny about my screen. I'm always like tilting it down, tilting it up, trying to get myself like right in the right spot.
Yeah.
And do you do that?
Yeah.
It's just me. I get real fidgety with it and I think, oh man, they must just get so sick of me because I'm constantly like in my videos and I'm making them, I'm like tipping up and down all the time. Like,
just trying to get it all good.
No one said anything yet, but if they watch this now, they might be like, yeah, that's really annoying. All right, so we're on.
We're on.
All right, we're on. We're back. We don't know what
back.
episode it is. We don't know how long it's been. Yeah, that's how we're going to roll. Let's just go. That's just how we roll.
In saying that, we did make a podcast.
We did make a podcast.
And we decided that we were triggered by something on social media and we came on and we're a little bit aggressive.
Look,
and it's not our vibe.
No, it's not our vibe.
We kind of just spoke our feelings a little bit too much.
Yeah, it was probably just a conversation. And it's not that we're like trying to filter or like hide anything, but it's like not something. Sometimes there's certain things that you're like, I don't need to like subject people who have chosen to tune into our episode to like me just having a moment and having a bit of a mood. And then it's going to be gone in 10 minutes time and me and you could have just talked about it and it could have been something that like you don't need to put out there, like negativity you don't need to offer to people.
Yeah.
The podcast was actually really, really good and like the little part was only at the end, so we probably could have just used it, but we were like, nah, let's just leave it because there was some good conversation. Maybe we'll pull some little bits out of it at some stage to use, but it's gone.
I think it's gone.
It's gone. We won't do that.
Nah.
Okay. It's gone. But anyway, we're here and yeah, we're just going to kind of keep doing it as it works, which kind of links to the theme of this week of what we're talking about in this podcast and, you know, just talking about kind of like living a good life, setting boundaries, you know, finding ways to do everything the way that we want to do it and, you know, just kind of like, I think for us, we like to be that example. Like, that's how we like to live our life. And for me, I just get really motivated by us kind of saying no to things that don't work for us and doing things our own way and then showing that and I guess giving people the strength or like encouraging people to then go and do that in their own life, not necessarily to like copy or do anything the way we do it, except from the theme of the fact that we're doing it that in a way that aligns with us. And obviously like prioritizing health and stuff, I still think every human being should.
Yeah, totally.
My mic.
And I think the biggest thing like that we've kind of done is we've had a lot of conversations to get to that point as well.
Yeah.
And like we are really good at holding each other accountable and like communicating and figuring out all the things that we want to be or how we want it to be to get to like where we are now. And in the future we'll have more conversations and keep each other accountable in different ways to keep being better and, you know, making sure that we're really happy in our life and our relationship.
Yeah, and like we've had so many like relationship conversations in the last couple of weeks since we haven't been here podcasting, and that's probably been one of the biggest reasons why we haven't been is we've just been prioritizing nothing bad but like just prioritizing our relationship as parents of two young kids and we sometimes you just have to fuck off everything else, put it all aside and go like we need to get back, like we need to be in this together and have some conversations and figure out what we want and how we want things to play out and empower each other and empower ourselves and like all that kind of stuff. So, you know, like it's funny, and I said this to Maddie earlier, is like we bumped into a friend on the beach last week. We always kind of see the same people at the beach on the weekend all the time, legends. And, you know, like we were talking about, she was starting a really cool podcast. She lost her mother a little while back and is like doing a podcast with her grandfather and, you know, it's like, it's really sweet and awesome. And anyway, we were talking about this podcast and I was saying, oh yeah, we've actually got a podcast and she didn't know. And I was like, yeah, we haven't been as consistent. You know, we just kind of fitting it in where we can around our kids and around our work and all that kind of stuff. And she's like, yeah, plus then, you know, if you get an hour together, like, you're going to prioritize having sex over having time together over doing a podcast. And I'm like, yeah, legit. And I'm like, if we've got that one little moment of time where we're like, okay, we can do an extra thing of work, or we can just go and like have some fun and put into our marriage, into our relationship, like, yeah, we're going to do that. And I think that's actually a really positive thing for us. And
yeah, 100%.
That's not a bad thing, but yeah, if we're not consistent, that's probably why. It's either that or our toddler's in like a really hard phase and we're dying. It's either really good or really hard.
And we have, like, with text, we have kind of come out the other side a little bit now where, you know, especially you can be a little bit more like, you don't have to be as selfless.
Yeah,
like, you can
I have
be a
myself back a little bit.
You can be a little bit more, not a lot, but a little bit more selfish. I'm
still breastfeeding, so there's still that.
Yeah.
And I'm still a primary attachment, and I'm still mom, all day long.
But he's happy to go to someone for a couple of hours and have some fun and things like that. So that's been quite nice.
Yeah, that's been helpful. But like one of the things that we do, and like we were saying, is like sharing in not necessarily our mistakes, but in our learnings along the way. And I guess a gift that we were given is a relationship where Maddie and I were like really good friends beforehand, and we've always been like besties. So being in a relationship as besties means that we kind of just tackle things really well. Not saying that everybody doesn't, but we're also just the kind of personality that we just like love to like learn and be better or whatever. And so yeah, we just like to share it. It's pretty fun to share it, and we like to have a chat. So
yeah,
I want to just quickly bring up the I guess kind of like what prompted me. I had this moment, actually. This wasn't part of what I was going to bring into this podcast, but I was having a look at it when I was feeding Texie before, and it was like an Ayurvedic page, which I've always loved for a really long time, talking about living your best life. And a lot of people, we've brought it up before, a lot of people being really, really overwhelmed by everything that's on social media, like sauna this much and ice bath and put ice on your face and, oh my gosh, like red lights and, you know, everything that you could possibly imagine, because obviously a lot of people get really excited about it. Like I do. I'm really interested in biohacking things, and it's really interesting from a scientific point of view. But I've never been inclined to go, hey, I'm going to go take on 48 million protocols in my day to have a good day. Like, I don't think that that's necessary. I don't believe that's necessary. If you just work on the basics, like drink enough water first, you know, like start there. That's like number one, just drink some more water.
Yep.
But they put it in such an awesome way where it was like, our bodies are not designed to be hacked, you know, or biohacked, and to start looking at your body like it's a garden and tend to it through the seasons. And sometimes, you know, things are going to be a little bit cold or windy, you know, you've got weather challenges, you've got things thrown your way, and then sometimes things are just thriving and you don't have to work for it as hard. And sometimes it's full of weeds and you've got to pull a couple of the weeds out, but also like you don't need to do it all in one day. It's like a little bit of chipping away each day and tending to it, and it should be peaceful and nice and, you know, feel good to be in nature tending to your garden. Do you know what I mean? And I just thought that was it was like so simple but so profound. And I was like, that's it. Like, if there was a way that I could describe how I want to live and how I would encourage people to live, is to treat their body more like a garden that they're tending to and looking after, rather than trying to hack, take control of, find this perfect answer. I've got a bunch of questions to go through on Instagram from people messaging in with questions I ran out of time coming back to, and it was like, you know, how do we manage trend diets and all this kind of stuff? And I'm like, look, there's a lot of information out there. There's so many things that we could do, and I think just approach it with a curious mind. We were talking about this, is just approach it with a curious mind. And if you feel interested to try something because you're curious about it and it feels cool and fulfilling in that way, then go for it. But it doesn't mean that anything is like what you should be doing or how it should be done or hacking, because also what somebody does to biohack one body isn't necessarily going to work with another body, and you intuitively hold the most power. And that's sort of what we've been trying to lean into in the last couple of months, is like tuning into like what makes us feel good. Like how do we want to live life? Because you can look at every man and his dog on Instagram, and, you know, they're all telling you, do it this way, do it that way, raise your kids like this, sit in a sauna, eat like that, blah, 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 blah. And there's just like not one template.
No.
Yeah, go.
Oh, sorry. I thought you heard that noise. Yeah, I totally agree. And the thing, like, that is the easiest thing to do, is take the lowest hanging fruit and then start to work on that. Like if you look at the garden analogy, it's like, cool, it's pulling the weeds. So what's the simplest, most easiest thing that you can do that you don't have to go too far out of your realm to add into your diet or to make a change? So like you said to me earlier, maybe it's just drinking 2 litres of water. Oh man, I've been crappy on that. I'm going to try and drink an extra half a litre today. And then in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to drink an extra litre from where I was 2 weeks ago. And now all of a sudden you've made a profound change, but you haven't really noticed any change at all because it's been gradual and it was the easiest one that you could come up with.
Yeah, exactly. And we talk about this with clients all the time, right? Like is just start with like the basic simple things that bring you peace and not the things that feel like a whole nother job. Like, don't get me wrong, like I'll talk to some people and say, I have one client and, you know, we've got some things to work on. I said, look, let's find the easy way to start, the way that you can integrate something into your life. You know, go, okay, dinner is a nightmare. Let's like not fight dinner. Let's just put my emphasis on breakfast and lunch. It's no big deal. And let's just put something fun and chill at dinner. Like don't fight it and keep trying to have this big elaborate dinner because everyone says you should. When you're coming home from work and you're tired and it's not working and you don't want to eat it, like it's done. Don't worry about it, you know? And then I'm like, and then there's some other things where it's like, okay, every now and again, you're going to have to give yourself a little slap in the face and put a vegetable on your plate, you know? Like it's that simple, or drink a little bit more water. It's just finding that balance between the two.
Yeah, 100%. It doesn't need to be as complex as everyone makes it out on social media specifically. And it's literally just finding the thing that you want to do or you like to do. So when you go back to like, say, the biohacking stuff, they'll tell you that there's a million reasons why you should ice bath or sauna and you'll get 50% better life rate or whatever the crap is they're pulling at the moment. But in the reality, if you really want a sauna and you would like that, then maybe go do it. But you could probably also just clean up your diet and have the exact same effect and it's cost you no extra money, right?
Yeah, and like, again, I think we've brought this up before about saunas. I just want to emphasize that we don't want to attack saunas. But,
no, we do love a sauna.
We do love a sauna. We love a sauna, yeah.
We're not disparaging.
It's just that when you think biohacking, it's like the one that's in my face the most, so it comes to the front of our brain. That or red light therapy. That or red light therapy, yeah. Or like I just keep seeing people putting their face in ice.
Yes, the ice thing,
But that's new, so like the sauna thing's just been around for a while. But like we were talking about before, I said, you know, sure, there's a lot of research and saunas are amazing and I don't doubt that they are, but also like maybe it's just that the people who are taking the time to sit in a sauna are sitting there for 30 minutes just chilling, you know? Maybe it's because they're drinking an extra litre of water while they're in there, you know, and maybe having some electrolytes and they're sitting down and they're taking a peaceful moment away from their children who have been yelling all day. You know, like what's that worth? And you can't really put a measurement on that. You know, you'd want to have a look at a whole nother study of another group of people who just took that time and didn't sit in the heat or whatever, you know, like, but does it matter? You know, does it matter? Like,
we don't know.
No. Yeah. And at the moment, I think it's just like, you know, we kind of sit down and go, what is it that we want to do or what do we need to cut or add progressively and as we flow through life that feels like it's good. And so like for us lately, we love doing these podcasts. We love having a chat. We love offering that. We would love to be posting more on social media. There's like a lot of things that we would do for our business that we would love to do. But we also went, like I made a call the other day that's like, you know, if anyone sort of offers an opportunity to me for the rest of this year, I'm just going to be like, no. Like it could be a great opportunity, but I know in my heart that while my son is like not even 2 yet and he's going to be, you know, just over 2 by the end of the year, I don't have it in me. You know, I don't have it in me. It's going to make me so overwhelmed and so anxious and so stressed. And at the moment, I'm pouring my heart and soul into raising these kids, trying to steadily chip away at being consistent for our business and showing up for our clients and learning and studying more for them and, you know, getting my coursework done and making food for them for breakfast every single day and exercising. And I was like, you know what? I would rather prioritize getting a really good workout in that day. And I feel like that's going to help me so much more than going and taking something else on. So I just make the call. And, you know, on paper, a lot of people will be like, you're crazy. Why would you say no to these things or whatever? And I'm like, because I just know in my heart how that's going to make me feel. And ultimately, that's my North Star, you know? And then we come back to like, okay, how many hours in a day do we want to be able to chill, to be able to hang out? Like I never want to lose the ability to sit, like to hang around and talk to our friends at the beach for 4 hours on a weekend, you know?
And the thing is too, is like we've had a lot of chats like recently as well. And the biggest thing that we've probably, like, I guess it's not an epiphany, but a bit of an epiphany is like really like internally looking and asking yourself, are you comparing yourself to somebody else, or are you doing exactly what you want? And for us and where we live, it's really easy to get caught up in what everyone else is kind of doing, because it is quite a wealthy area that we live in, and we're the poor people in the wealthy area, you know. So
we're kind of poor by choice sometimes.
Yeah.
Because we want to chill more.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, right? Like, so we look around and we can be like, do we want to, like, we can do what they're doing to get what they've got, but do we want to sacrifice
we don't want to do
that,
it.
you know?
Yeah.
And people can judge you for it, but it doesn't really matter if they judge you for it, because who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, does it really matter if somebody else thinks something that you actually like?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. That's right. And it is a hard thing to do, and it doesn't matter whether it's people in your area, family, social media, comparison that you've just kind of brought on yourself. But when you really sit down and really tune in, and I think that was actually a really cool thing about us having all these like relationship, like just chats, because obviously like we've been together for like, I don't know, we've been married almost 9 years or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's been a while. And so like we've gone through a lot of life together, you know, in business that we've let go of, and raising 2 different kids, and, you know, sharing money and bodies and food and routines and responsibilities and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's like been so much, and so we like kind of want to just always make sure that we keep checking in with each other. And oh man, Maui, can you smell that?
No. Oh yes, I can now. Dude.
Our dog's just farted right next to us.
Fuck.
That's so bad.
Oh man, that's real bad.
Sorry, I couldn't let that go. I couldn't let that go. Anyway, we have these conversations about like our relationship and whatever, and you know what we need, and trying to find our vulnerability in ourselves and how we show up for each other, because you know the more vulnerable you are, and not necessarily vulnerable, I guess it's vulnerable, but the more just like real and open and relaxed and stuff you are with each other, then you kind of like tune into that with yourself as well, and then you're like, oh, wait, what do I actually want? And I feel like a lot of people have sort of lost touch with that. And we even talked about that with food, right? As people will see like people making certain recipes, or yeah, like thinking they should do it like this, they should do it like that. I should be making these kind of foods, or it should be basic, or I should be meal prepping, or I should be whatever. Like the millions of shoulds, and it's like, I don't know, do you want to?
Yeah, that's
like,
the thing.
Do you even care?
Yeah.
Because like it doesn't really matter. Like if you don't want to.
Yeah. Just do what you want. That's as simple as it gets.
Yeah.
It's like not that, it's really not that difficult. There's a lot of things you should do, but at the end of the day, you've got to be willing and able to do it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the end of it. If you're not willing and able to do it, then it's just going to be another failed thing in your life.
Yeah, and then you end up in this like cycle of going like, oh, I did that for a couple of weeks and then it didn't work out, and because it was like too hard, right? It was too hard, it was too much, and it's funny because like even with how we do our service and how we kind of talk to our clients is like, I always say to people, it's very in flow. Like it's very week to week depending on like how a person is, because you just might change your mind. You just might not be ready for something, and someone might be ready for something at week 2 and someone might be ready for something at week 22. Like it's just so different. And I think just like, yeah, being willing to like have that conversation. We've got this like beautiful nature sound in the back. Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, being willing to, just focus on like what you've actually got to offer and what you can do. But like just most importantly, like what you want. And I think that's like the theme that we kind of keep coming back to. And especially like in this business and this podcast and vlogging and all that kind of stuff is like at the moment, you know, what we really want is to like come home and like feel really good and relaxed and chill. And so like there's certain things that we'll let go of in order to achieve that. And then we're like navigating that with our kids.
Yeah, 100%. And just coming back to the coaching side of things, like anyone who comes to us and ends up working with us, so all of our coaches, you know, will coach the same, and I guess like our mantra a little bit is very collaborative with the person. It's not structured to whatever it needs to be, how you were saying. Like we do really work within flow and kind of just give you ideas and spitball and keep trying until something sticks, right? Mm-hmm. And we've all had that with certain clients where we've been like, all right, cool, you've tried macros, all right, let's try this.
Yeah.
Let's try that. Okay, that's working. All right, cool. Let's keep that on. Do you want to try this? Do you want to try that? How about we get to here? And then, you know, when they look back in 8 months' time, they've completely overhauled their life and what they were doing. And it's just by minimally making changes that they felt willing and really wanting to do themselves, as opposed to like us pushing our certain ways on that person.
Yeah, it's really funny because I actually notice like sometimes I'll be sitting down with a client's check-in and I'll be going through their food journal and you'll be like, oh man, because we always said like we wanted it to be seamless in a way that like people are slowly integrating these changes into their life in a way that it's actually easy and that they don't even notice. And then you get to a point you're like, oh man, they don't actually even notice how well they've done, like how much they've changed. And you're like, you look at their food journal or whatever and I'm like, or how they start to approach eating when they travel or, you know, just anything like their mindset or whatever. And you're like, this isn't even the same person. And sometimes I don't even realize. And then I stop back and sit and then I'm like, hang on a minute, like not even just outside of a before and after photo. Like if we could before and after like the inside of your brain and your emotions or whatever, like that's where like the real change happens because it is focusing on the little things that really make a difference to you shaping your life and you being really honest and transparent and handing yourself over to us and going, this is how I want to feel. Like that's what always coming back. Like I'm constantly like, how do you want to feel? Like, because how many times do people go, I want to improve my body composition, you know, I want to get here. I'm like, okay, cool. But like, how do you want to feel? Why? Like, why do you want that? And then all of a sudden you're kind of like delving around it. Then it's like, oh, actually, man, I couldn't think of anything worse than tracking my macros for the rest of my life. I don't want to do that. I want to have a better body composition, but like I don't want to be a slave to my phone. I want to enjoy my time. Like, okay, cool. We're getting somewhere. All right. Like, so just so you understand, like you can achieve a really good body composition, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, it's going to be a little bit of a different path, a little bit of a different journey. And understand that your body will go in flow and it will change, you know, week to week if you're a woman or, you know, seasonally with different things if you're a male or female or whatever. And, and then all of a sudden they're just kind of really changing for themselves, like based off how they want to feel. Yeah. And I still swear by like, that's the only way to success.
Yeah, me too.
Is to change by how you want to feel and nothing else. And you know what, for some people, like I'm not there to tell anyone what's right or wrong in how they want to feel. Like if someone came to me and said, I want to feel like I fit in everywhere. I want to fit in with the cool kids. I want to look like this and do that because that makes me the least stressed. Then I'm like, okay, cool. That's your choice. Like that's not my choice, but that's your choice. And that's if you're being really honest. But then if we want, okay, why? Deeper, which is what we've been doing on deeper. Oh, okay, there it is. Like
100%.
And like I've been on that journey even with myself personally. We've talked about it a couple of times in the podcast, like changing my nutrition, and it's been 12 months of retirement and the waves of it, trying to figure it all out. How do I want to train? How do I want to eat? And I had that realization where I was like, nah. I don't want to do macros. I don't want to do it. I don't like it. You know, it actually ended up giving me like a really strong sense of belief of like what I believe in for nutrition for people, and like also what I'm not willing to do because I don't believe in it in a sense, you know, in the way I do things and how I approach things. And I think that's a really good thing to have too, to be like just so certain in what you believe and not necessarily like set in your way, but just, you know, like having that thing, and then the right people will find you for that. But and then now kind of going like, there's some stuff where I'm like, someone asked in the questions, you know, has your body changed since you stopped competing? And I'm like, well, yeah, like, but it's also changed like a million times in the last 6 years because like I had babies, postpartum, breastfed, stopped breastfeeding, recompeting, you know, and I've gone through a career in a sport where like you're really like when you're in season, and then you have a little bit of an off season, like where you're more strength focused, and then you've got like all these changes coming off competition and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, but like I reached a point where I was like, okay, how do I really want to feel? And I was like, there was a point where I was like, oh, I don't necessarily love, like I have liked and enjoyed seeing myself leaner, but then I was like, oh, hormonally I feel really great, and me and you are really good, and like everything else is sort of really good, and I have energy to like keep up with my kids all day. And I was like, fuck man, that's just worth something. So I was 100%. Like, it's just not, and I had to have that real conversation with myself that's like, oh, you know, maybe that's just not the priority, you know, like, and maybe I'll come back to it and I would like to be a little bit leaner or whatever again, but, and like, I still kind of do in a sense, but like, I know what I'm not willing to compromise based off how I'm like, I feel good. You know, so you're like.
And the thing is too, right, like with that, there's more than one way that you can get leaner if that's what your goal is too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be an extra 4 hours in the gym. It can be, all right, cool, I'm going to be a little bit more mindful of what carbs I'm intaking, or, you know, eat a little bit less calories.
Yeah, well, I did
and then
two
all of a sudden
things.
you're good.
Yeah, like I did two things, right? I said to you, the first thing is I started eating with my cycle, but not in the intense way that you can eat with your cycle, because you can definitely get very, very dialed in specific with it. But I understand that that's just not where I'm at right now, and I would not enjoy that. That would feel stressful. But all I did was go lower on, like, I don't eat a lot of refined carbohydrates or anything anyway, but lower on the carbohydrates in the first half of my cycle, more carbohydrates in the second half of my cycle, just to lean into supporting estrogen in one half and progesterone in the other half, like that basic. And that made a huge difference. So I went from someone who was getting anxious when I was ovulating, like kind of feeling really tense and anxious, to someone who was really chill. So that was just one thing. And then I said to you the other day, do you remember the other thing I said to you when we were shopping that I was going to do? I was just going to start. You don't remember?
I don't know. No, I don't think I do.
I was just going to eat more veggies.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that old challenge. I actually remember Dan doing
the
it.
500 grams a day.
Yeah, I remember Dan Bailey doing it. It was 500 grams, hey?
I think so.
Yeah, 500 grams or a certain amount of cups, or 5 cups or something like that. I don't know. But it was like the 500 grams was in the back of my mind, which was like 500 grams of like whole, like fruits and vegetables, fresh food every single day. And I haven't measured anything, but I was like, I'm just going to start there. So I was like, I have been doing the cycle thing for a couple of months now. Really great. Really loved how I felt. And then I was like, okay, cool. There's still, I feel like I still slip into moments of, like, I guess mum eating. I call it mum eating, you know, where it's like, oh, I kind of like rushed out the door there and picked at half a pancake and something. Like, it's not all the time. Like, if it's just mainly like if something's not set up for me, and 99% of the time it is, but then sometimes it's not. And then I'll like pick at things a little bit more that then I feel like increases the amount of fat I'm consuming for my own tolerance. And I don't tolerate a lot of fat very well at all. My digestive system's not about it. And then I feel like shit again. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, I'll just put in the veggies. I know I'm going to feel really full. I know my digestion's going to be amazing. I'm going to be a little bit more hydrated. Like, my belly's going to feel great, and like all those things. So like, it was just start there.
Yeah.
And
that's like all it really needs to be too, right? I think there's like, circling it back to like what we were starting talking about, there are so many things to tell you to do 48 things in one day to biohack your body. And the reality is honestly, just start with one.
Yeah.
Like one easy little thing that you can do in there, like eat some more veggies.
Yep.
And then see where you end up next week and then the week after. Like, it doesn't have to be any more complicated than that.
And it also doesn't have to be like the top tier of that habit. So for instance, like I said, eating with your cycle, you can get really, really crazy with it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to do that top tier. I'm just going to do the basic of it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
see
just
where
going
you
to
are next week.
And then I'm going to see what happens. And then I'll be like, okay, maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do that, whatever. Maybe I'll increase this particular food at this particular time or whatever, and then see how that goes. Maybe I won't, because, you know, it's not the time, and I just don't feel like it's anything extra that I can add on right now, you know. But for me, it felt like going to the farmer's market like we already do and just buying a few extra fruits and veggies, that was easy.
Yeah.
I was like, I can have that in my house.
Yeah,
I can buy it right now. I can spend an extra $30.
Yep.
And get a bit extra and have it there, and then I can just look at my plate each day and go, oh, I'll just put a carrot on it.
Yeah.
Like, it could be.
It's literally that simple. Like, it doesn't have to be some elaborate thing. It can be literally just a carrot.
Yeah, like I know in my phases where I try and eat more veggies again, because it's just that thing that always is like, can slip away. It's always like the number one thing can slip away because we get busy, right? Mm-hmm. And you know, I'm like trying to eat more veggies when I'm just eating like carrots with peanut butter on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
or some cucumber.
It's a cucumber every time. Yeah. Some cucumber, like with dinner or whatever, just like cutting up, because it's like the thing that's just already made that I don't have to do anything to it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just going to start there with like the most dumb basic thing that I don't have to do anything to. I don't have to cook it. I'm like, it's not going to be me eating more sweet potato because I have to do something to that. It's going to be me going, I'm going to get some mandarins because I can put them in the car easy, apples, cucumbers.
Zucchini.
Not even cucumber.
Capsicum.
Yeah, capsicum.
Like,
no, zucchini, got to cook it.
Not zucchini.
Just like, can I just eat this like basic thing? Like, can I just get the simple things right?
Yeah.
And just start there. And if it's not veggie, start with fruit.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a big deal. Like, and you could go down, you could go down the rabbit hole, and some nutrition coach or nutritionist or dietitian's going to be like, yeah, but you don't want to eat too much fruit because, you know, the sugar and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, cool, man. But like, if I'm in a point where I just want to eat some more fresh foods over some processed foods, over some packet foods that don't have all the extra random stuff in, and the best I can do is eating an extra apple and a mandarine in the day, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to work my way back to the carrots and the cucumbers.
Instead of that chocolate bar, you've just eaten something that's way better for you.
Yeah. Put a bit of peanut butter on it, like call it a day. It's just not the end of the world, and it's just kind of like meeting yourself at the stage that you're at.
Yeah.
Based off what's going to feel good. And I think like it was funny, you know, I usually do, the last couple of years I've done like a manifestation board, you know, a vision board, not a manifestation board, a vision board at the start of each year of like things I kind of, and last year I had it full of stuff, and this year I was like, oh, I just don't. I had nothing to put on it. I was like, I don't really know. Yeah. Last year was really specific. There were like kind of certain things.
Tangible things.
Really tangible things.
Like actual things.
Yeah, like had like selling our old car and getting a new car, and, you know, the price I put for our old car, we got exactly that. Like just random stuff, you know, like, and then this time all I had was words, you know, and it was so funny because they were the only things like when I really listened to my heart of like what presented itself as like, what do I really want to have this year to move forward. And I was like, the only way that I'm ever going to create the life that I really want, and that our business is going to be successful and everything will fall into place and we'll have financial freedom at some point and all that kind of stuff. I truly believe the only way that I'm ever going to achieve that is to have peace.
Yeah.
Is to really focus on being unbothered by things that you shouldn't be bothered by, that you don't need to be bothered by, and just finding peace in my day. And if adding 1,000 biohacking elements to my day is not going to give me peace, then I'm just not going to be in a state where I've got good energy out in the world, where I'm going to attract the things that I really want to attract. Like I'm going to be feeling moody, and then I'm not going to have like good friendships or connections with people because I'm going to be like rushing and cranky. Whereas I'm like, if I've maybe taken time to just slow down and sacrifice something else and do a workout instead, I'm going to show up, and then probably like other things are going to feel better. I'm going to do a better job when I'm talking to my clients and be a little bit more alive. And you know, so like...
And then your positivity shows in other ways, and then you get those tangible things
anyway, without focusing on them.
And that's a big thing too, right? And I remember us talking about, there's like some theory or whatever it is, and it's like people chasing like possessions as opposed to chasing emotions. And it's like they always end up in the same like problem where once I get this, then I'll be happy.
Yeah.
And then they get that. And then the next thing they're like is, okay, the new one came out. Okay, once I get this, then I'm good, you know? And then that headspace is setting yourself up to chase the next thing, as opposed to going, if I follow my emotion, as opposed to following a possession or an object or something like that, then I'm going to get the feeling that I'm chasing as opposed to getting the thing that I'm chasing.
Yeah, it's funny. I read recently, it was really interesting because I've like read a lot and consumed a lot of information about manifestation and things like that. And, you know, they all say like, you know, you can't force manifestation from your head. It has to be from your heart and what you truly, truly want, and like kind of call that in. And then I saw this thing that was like, it pretty much was along the lines of, if all you're doing is trying to get more things, like if you're just trying to focus on abundance, that in itself is actually a scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
Because they go, if you look at it from an energetic perspective, if you focus on the abundance in front of you and being grateful, like going, I love that we have this cute little fire pit right here. Like I could pick a million things around our house right now that drive me nuts. But if instead, you know, I was like, I love coming home to this house that's 5 minutes from the beach, and that's got space for our kids to play, and I love when the sun comes in here in the morning and shines through that room and whatever, like that in itself is more of a positive, abundant mindset. And if you look at it from that magnetic point of view, and then what's offered back is that gratitude, that genuine gratitude,
100%,
is what brings it in.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's something I've kind of been trying to focus on.
Yeah.
Really, is this again, and it sounds a bit woo woo, but it's not. Like, and I feel like anyone who hears it, like if you know, like when you understand, like there's things that in your head you'll think, oh, I want this, I need that. But when you really, really, truly listen to like what's in your heart and what's in your gut, it's a little different, you know, like that might actually not matter. That might not
100%.
be something. And you're like, oh no, that's actually
Yeah.
like, we've done it a lot. Like how many conversations we've had lately where we're like, oh, we could sell our house and downgrade, like get something smaller that's got a bedroom each, and it's like maybe a little bit closer to the beach or something, but like we just put a big shed in the backyard to train in, and everyone would be like, that's stupid, like why would you get a smaller house, you know, and like less than what you have essentially. And I'm like, well, so if we sold it and we had extra cash, we have more time, you know, we have less to clean and less to look after, we have more time for each other, like. And so, like, it's funny because anyone else would be like, bigger house, more flasher, doing
Yeah.
this. And we're like, man, do we just buy a shack?
Yeah.
You know?
Little beach shack.
Do we just buy a little old beach shack or a little old 70s house? Like this is an 80s house, but it's like half renovated, you know?
And it's big.
And it's bigger.
Yeah.
Not massive, but like it's definitely
Yeah.
good for our family. And we're like, you know, do we... And when we really started thinking about it, we were like, oh, man, like... that feels good. You know, we were like, that feels so good to go like, oh man, we just don't have to worry. Like we'd have a way smaller, you know, we could, because we'd make a profit off this, you know, we'd have a less mortgage. We don't have to work as much. We're working because we like really want to, like,
Yeah.
oh, we really want to anyways, but like.
We love our job.
We definitely love our job, but it's more the mindset of like, we still also have to work. Do you know what I mean? Like no one doesn't have to work. We've chosen to do things that we love, but like to go, oh, we're only doing this from a place of love and not like stressing or worrying or thinking about money or whatever it is, like. And it's funny because when you look at it on paper and what sometimes maybe I thought I wanted, I'm like, oh man, I just actually don't think we do now.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
Yep, it's so good. Like we have come along, like we have come a long way from like even like where we first started to where we are now, and then having all these conversations like lately has. Like we're probably, which is crazy because we've got 2 kids, and like we're probably in a better place now than what we've ever been.
Yeah.
And really, you would think that we wouldn't, because we've got 2 kids and it's stressful, and we've started a new business and we're working the business together, and you know, you've just retired and that was stressful, and you know, sponsorship loss and like all that type of stuff as well. Like we have more reason to be stressed and frazzled, and you know, life to be harder, you know, and potentially have a strain on our relationship because of stress. And we've worked so hard on each other and being there for each other, and you know, staying connected and being like doing everything for each other and for love, that we're better than ever. Like, and that's really cool to think like you can keep getting better and better as you age. And yeah, that's been pretty awesome to see.
Yeah, in every aspect, right? And not by accident. It's
No.
just like, it's having those conversations and thinking about what really matters and what we prioritize. And like a huge thing was our health. Like, you know, I've always prioritized it. It was definitely like a bit, you've made more changes, more bigger changes, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, starting with that and starting with like, focusing on actually like putting into your health, and like you can only do that for yourself. It's a lot easier together, don't get me wrong. It's a lot easier if you can, you know, grab your hubby, your wife, your partner, your
Let's do it
friend, if
together.
you can grab someone
100%.
close to you, sister, brother, anyone, like in, and kind of to do it with you, it's 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
And easier. But you know, we also had to show up for ourselves and make certain choices to like take care of ourselves in certain ways,
Yeah.
in order to sort of be there for each other and our kids, and to like keep getting better, right? And
Yeah. And have hard conversations of figuring out like, you know, what was stressing each other out about ourselves, and you know, checking in with each other and making sure we were really good. Like we do that regularly, and that's really helped, especially like because we're slowly coming out the other side of the mum having to be the sole carer of
24/7 on call.
Yeah.
Let's just say we did say this the other day, because we were originally going to talk more about like the kids and like random stuff, and then we kind of like, nah, let's just talk about this today.
Yeah.
Which has been a little bit of everything, bit of the biohacking stuff, the simple things, relationship, bloody everything. But we did say this the other day, like I think it was yesterday, we were talking about that first 2 years. For anyone who's in the trenches or anyone who's like thinking of having kids soon, just know that first 2 years is hard. It's not the same, and it doesn't mean that everything goes or is bad or anything, but it takes a lot more work, a lot more time, a lot more surrender. You know, there's just so much more to navigate.
Yeah.
And then
especially with 2 kids, like having that second kid, because you're integrating the new baby into an established life that 5-year-old's got going on, or a 4-year-old at that time.
Yep.
And to have to, you know, her to still have all her sports and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And then on top, now you've got a baby who you've got to either try and bring to all those things, or someone's got to stay home, or, you know, to navigate that part it's quite hard and stressful.
And also think about it, like if you had a certain percentage of yourself to give, say when it's just me and you, and I go, okay, I have this much to give you right now because all I have is myself and my work and whatever. And then you add 1 kid in, you're like, okay, now I got to split that a little bit now and give that kid some. And then you have another kid and then you're like, oh, I got to split that a little bit more, you know? So you start to divide yourself, and the ratio that you give up to a child who's young, like especially say under 2, and then there's like another bracket that's kind of like under 7. Like I do think there's that up to that 7 years or so where there's so much development, so much emotional growth that you really need to like nurture and harness. But like especially in that first 2 years, because it's just like sleep and learning and nappies and no nappies and cots and toddler beds and like much transition.
Getting woken up to take sis to school. Or
learning to eat, like all the things. So, yeah, like there's just so much in that first 2 years that I think it's just a matter of like understanding the change. Sorry, I just got distracted. Our daughter's joining in. Yeah, to understand like the change that's going on, and just sort of like, I guess, surrender to what it is and be willing to sacrifice, not even sacrifice, but just let go of some things and just do the best you can of, again, what's that lowest hanging fruit, what's going to make me feel the best today, what's going to get me through like this and help me right now to help me feel good, to move forward. And that's all you can do. And that's like coming from experience. Like we are just kind of starting to see the end of that first part. It's not easy, not even close. Like anyone who's had a little toddler boy, like, I mean, or just like, I don't know, second child, or just the same nature as Texie Tornado, but it's like,
it's wild.
It's wild. It's wild. It is so fun. Like the chaos is real, man. And it is like so fun, but holy moly, like it is just, it's tiring. It's a whole other exhausting thing to navigate.
But we love it.
But yeah, you kind of have that first little bit, and it's definitely a time to just like really nourish and support yourself as best you can. Like, and a huge part of that sometimes might just be doing a little bit less, doing it a little bit more basic, tuning into the feeling of what you really need that day, and keeping it as simple as that.
100%.
Anyway, we have had a little 6-year-old join us, and I feel like we've kind of covered a range of things. We have also we've put a vlog up on YouTube that's kind of like our family. We're going to try and keep it really simple. Maddie we do love vlogging. It's really fun.
And the kids love it.
The kids love it. They love watching themselves on the video.
Sis loves it,
so we're going to do that a little bit more and try and kind of like flip between the two of these, the podcast and then YouTube. So if you kind of want to get to know us and sort of how we do things, and I think the final message here is, and Maddie and I talked about this before, is like sometimes even us, we can, you know, look outside and see so many people say doing things differently or having like so much expertise in a certain field, and like anyone will struggle with imposter syndrome and go, oh my gosh, like, because we just want to do the best and offer the best for whoever we talk to. And I think our goal is, and always has been, to share a relatable perspective of just two people learning through it all, who have the intention and the purpose of just living a really great, fulfilled, healthy life. That doesn't make us experts in anything, but we read a lot, we observe a lot, we trial, we break ourselves open and pour ourselves out to like have conversations and to do all of that. And so we're just kind of like real humans doing it, and our goal is honestly to just hopefully just show people that you can do whatever the fuck you want, pretty much. You can just live
as long as you're happy. That's
as long as you're happy, and still within that, prioritise your health. Don't ever give up on that.
No, it's
Just
the number one thing.
work out and eat some good food,
Yeah.
man. Like I promise
Yeah.
you, it will
You only get
transform
one
your
body,
life.
man.
Yeah, you only get one body, and don't wait too long. But that I'll stand by. But what that looks like is obviously always a little bit different. But that's always the angle that we're coming in at, and we hope that that's what comes across for you guys, and which is probably why I kind of over-explain myself a little bit sometimes on here, just to make sure that I don't get like misunderstood, or we don't get misunderstood, because we are coming from a really good place, and we really hope that in you listening to this today, that you feel encouraged to just maybe do something that actually feels really good, really good, and brings you some form of peace, and in your day to day and forever and ever, because it's going to end one day, and there's only a couple of people that are going to be left there with you.
Yep.
Who got to witness it all. So, and that's a true gift.
And these are the ones that only matter.
Yeah. Scotty, would you like to end our podcast? So we're going to end it. Would you like to say something like, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time, or something like that? Okay.
No, you don't need these on. You
don't-
just talk. All right.
Scotty's going to put the headphones on. Okay, make sure you talk nice and clear so people can understand you, okay? Even if you feel shy.
You got to talk into here. Sis.
Into Dad's mic, and
Into
you'll
the
hear
mic.
yourself. You'll say it?
Thanks for listening.
Good job, sis. The only time she'll ever get shy. You did a great job. All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Catch ya.